Adeline, just a sec. What's this about you showing up at my husband's family home without a gift? As a daughter-in-law, you should at least bring some confectionery gifts. It's not confectionery, but I did give you a gift, right? Last time, my mother-in-law, Isla, praised my homemade sweets, you know. Since it was well received, I made a bunch of it and brought it. Huh? We threw those cheap-looking sweets away immediately. What? You threw them away? There's no way our family would eat such a poor-looking thing. Our parents run a company and we're quite wealthy around here. I've only eaten high-end sweets since I was little, you know. It may not be up to the standard of high-end sweets, but it's cruel to throw away the sweets I made with so much effort, Gianna. The basic principle is to put trash in the trash bin. Such nerve. This is why I have trouble with country bumpkin daughter-in-laws. You're ignorant. It's common sense to bring high-end sweets as a gift when visiting your husband's family home. If you understand, don't bring any more trash. Hey, Lincoln. Was it wrong to bring homemade sweets as a gift? Gianna called them cheap and threw them away.
That's what I told you, didn't I? Stop with the homemade sweets and buy something proper. Indeed, Mom praised your sweets, but it might have been just a polite compliment. When visiting your family home, it's basic to buy some sweets.
But I didn't have enough money to buy sweets. Even so, I thought it would be bad to go empty-handed, so I worked hard to make them.
Huh? You don't even have the money to buy sweets?
I told you before. Our living expenses are barely covered. Hey, Lincoln, is the company going to be okay soon?
Huh? If it could be fixed, it would have been fixed by now. But I'm trying to turn it around because I can't. Working hard to protect the company from morning till night. How could you say such a thing to such a husband?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to blame you. But you've been going out drinking more lately, haven't you? So I thought maybe the company had turned around. If we've got a little room to breathe, I want you to put some money into living expenses. I'm paying all the living expenses and it's getting tough.
I always say that drinking parties are part of the job. Rebuilding the company will take more time. If you're a wife, you should be able to handle the household finances on your own during that time.
Of course, I want to support the household too. But we're so tight that I'm starting to lose my mental leeway. Can't we stop sending money to your parents for now?
What did you say?
You're sending $1,500 a month to your parents now, aren't you? Can't we stop that for a while? Then we'd have a little more leeway in the household budget, and we could even buy famous sweets when we visit your parents' home.
Don't joke with me. If I did that, my family would find out that my company is in a crisis.
Let them find out. And about the $1,500 monthly remittance. It's not like we're doing it because your parents' finances are tough. It was something you started out of pride, wasn't it?
Pride, you say?
Because that's not it. The moment your company took off, you suddenly started showing off, thinking it's filial piety. You decided on your own to send as much as $1,500 a month without hesitation.
What's wrong with honoring your parents who took care of your children? Moreover, when we started our business, we got some investment from our parents. I'm sending them money as a way to repay that debt. Don't brush it off with such words as vanity.
I think it's wonderful to be filial when you can, but our household doesn't have that luxury now, do they? Even though you continue to send money, putting your wife through hardships, you're probably just embarrassed to stop something you've started.
Shut up. Don't you understand a man's pride? Stopping remittances because the company is in trouble. I'll never do such a lame thing.
What on earth?
And, according to my parents, it seems that our remittance is being used for my sister's tuition. She's been working hard, studying abroad, and doing internships here and there. Because it costs a lot of money, they're using our remittance. It's not like they're wasting the money by saving it, so what's wrong with that?
I'm glad they're using it carefully, but if that's the case, couldn't we at least reduce the remittance? I'd like Gianna to do a little part-time job or something.
Gianna is immersed in her studies right now. I couldn't possibly make such a hard-working sister work part-time. Just shut up and listen to what your husband has to say. Eventually, the company will settle down, and until then, you just need to hang in there.
Hey, Gianna. What's this envelope about? When I looked inside, I found a divorce paper. Oh, it's already arrived. Then go ahead and sign that divorce paper, and once you've submitted it to the city office, leave my brother's house. Wait, what? What do you mean by get out? Do you not understand unless I say it clearly? You are not fit to be my brother's wife. That's why I want you to get a divorce and leave as soon as possible. What? I've always thought that you were not suitable since the beginning of your marriage. I couldn't believe that the wife of my respected brother is from the country. And I was convinced when you came to our house the other day. Someone who brings homemade sweets with a straight face is a poor person. I knew then that you were not suitable to be my brother's wife.
So that's why you sent a divorce paper?
Because no matter who looks at it, you're holding my brother back, aren't you?
What?
My brother has always been outstanding. Since such a brother is running a business, I think it's not strange if the company grows even bigger. But somehow, the speed of growth has recently stopped. Surely your low presence as a wife is the reason his company's growth has halted.
Excuse me?
Because they say a married couple is a mirror. Surely if you, the wife, were more beautiful, sociable, and a wonderful wife with common sense, the company would have grown larger. The reason why his company isn't growing is, of course, because you, the wife, are holding him back.
That can't be.
So please hurry up and get lost by divorcing. Oh, don't worry about him. He already has the next bride candidate.
The next bride candidate? What on earth does that mean?
Heh. Actually, when I went home the other day, I secretly introduced him to one of my friends. She's more beautiful, intelligent, and younger than you.
What did you say?
And guess what? They've happily started dating. I just got a report from my friend a while ago. He's unexpectedly quick, my brother.
Wait a minute. This can't be. Introducing a girl to your brother. Moreover, Lincoln dating the girl introduced is planned.
That's all possible. He's probably tired of an incompetent wife like you. So please get divorced as soon as possible. I've prepared a new wife for my brother. We don't need an incompetent wife who's a burden.
Then there'll be no more remittance from next month.
What?
I've been sending all the $1,500 remittance every month, actually. I heard it's all used for your tuition and entrance fees, Gianna. From now on, you'll have to arrange it yourself. If I get a divorce, it's none of my business anymore.
Hey, wait a minute. What are you talking about all of a sudden? All the monthly remittances were done by my brother. He sent it to our family home as a way to honor his parents. Why is the wife, you, paying it?
It's because your brother's company is facing a bankruptcy crisis.
What? Bankruptcy crisis?
Actually, the companies he's running hasn't been doing well recently. You, who knows nothing, were saying that the company's growth has stopped. It's not just growth, it's already facing a bankruptcy crisis. Sales are low and the deficit is increasing. We didn't have the money to remit to your family home.
That's a lie! There's no way! There's no way my brother's company is facing a bankruptcy crisis. My brother is going on a super luxury date with my friend.
Really?
Didn't I tell you that my friend and my brother started dating? I've heard all sorts of admiration from my friend already. All the restaurants he takes her to are high-end ones. And he also gives her brand gifts every time they date. She said he's a super great boyfriend. Designer brands in high-end stores. Where on earth do you find such luxury? He's relying on me, his wife, for all of our living expenses, and even to support his family. Don't think I believe you've been sending money back home. And the fact that his company is on the verge of bankruptcy. Don't start making up stories out of spite because you're about to be divorced. If you have time for such nonsense, sign the divorce papers for goodness sake.
I heard the story from Gianna. Seems she sent you divorce papers, huh? There were signs that she didn't like you, but I never thought it would go this far.
I heard quite a bit from Gianna as well. Seems you've started dating a girl she introduced you, while having a wife who provides for living expenses and family support. How can you commit such a low betrayal?
Man, when I finally reached out to her, she was so incredibly cute and wonderful. Any man would date her, even if he has a wife.
Don't be ridiculous. I've been putting all my salary into the house and cutting back on various things. And yet, you're cheating on me while the company is having a hard time. Dates at high-end restaurants, gifts of designer brands. What on earth are you doing without such luxury?
How I spend my money is my business. Don't stick your nose in, wife.
That's enough. I'm getting a divorce. I'm tired of supporting you and of sending money to your family in your place. It all seems ridiculous now.
Glad you brought up divorce. To be honest, I can see a light at the end of the tunnel for my company's recovery. I'm going to work hard on my company with my new wife after divorcing you.
Just in time for the company's recovery. You've actually been successful in turning the company around for a long time, haven't you? That's why the number of drinking parties increased. You had the leisure in both your heart and money, so you started cheating.
Who cares about that? You're getting a divorce from me anyway.
Oh, is that so? Well then, I won't hesitate to demand compensation. Since you seem to have plenty of money, I can expect a division of property. As a wife, I will take half of it. And I might as well add some compensation and take about 3/4 of it.
What? How greedy are you? There's no way a wife can get that much.
This is not just about infidelity. I can't believe your sister-in-law is also involved. How much mental pain do you think I've been through? If I ask a good lawyer, I should be able to get that much.
A good lawyer, huh? It costs a lot to hire a lawyer like that. Besides, they're too busy. They won't take a request from a country bumpkin like you.
That's fine. I have a plan. The wife of one of your company's client told me. I think she has a relative who is a lawyer and is very good. So she said to call her if anything happens.
What? The wife of my client?
As a wife who also supports a company owner, I've been getting to know a few of the wives of your clients. You're always engrossed in management. You probably don't know about such things. So I'll take your offer and consult a lawyer.
Hey, wait a minute. If we do that, word of our divorce will spread, won't it? And then surely extra stories will spread too. It's no joke to consult the wife of a business partner.
Oh, what's the unnecessary talk? And who is it unnecessary for, I wonder? I don't have any unnecessary stories, you know.
What?
Well then, I'll go and submit the divorce papers after you've signed them. Thank you for everything until now. Please be happy with your next potential wife. You were quite a sly woman, weren't you? To think you'd take more than half of my brother's assets just because of a divorce. I just claimed my rightful share. It was your brother who let me take more than half of his assets. If you have a problem, tell it to your embarrassing brother. Don't get carried away just because you've come into a large sum of money. The amount you took from me is just a drop in the bucket for my brother. My brother can make it back in no time. Is that so? I was startled when I heard from my brother that he was really on the verge of bankruptcy. But he had already overcome the crisis, just like my brother. He said he was about to get back on track too. Then he's going to register his marriage with my friend right away.
Oh, really? You're continuing to date steadily, aren't you?
Plus, my tuition and study abroad expenses. Even if my brother doesn't pay, I have a wealthy family. Even if you're gone, there's no effect on our house.
What?
Haha, it's embarrassing to say you won't send money anymore. In my family, we have parents who run a company and a competent brother who overcame a bankruptcy crisis. There's no problem even if you disappear.
Oh, Gianna, you still don't know. Despite the fact that you bragged about family's company is going to bankrupt this year.
What?
And Lincoln's company is about to get back on track. But it's not on track yet, so you shouldn't let your guard down. From what I've heard, a series of business partners are withdrawing. You should be happy only when you're sure you're back on track.
What? What? Hey, what are you talking about? Don't say such arbitrary things.
When did I ever say such arbitrary things? I always tell the truth. That's why I was sending $1,500 a month.
What?
Actually, I once consulted with your parents about remittances. Without revealing the management situation of Lincoln's company, I secretly consulted him about whether it would be difficult to send $1,500 a month. I asked if I could stop or reduce it. Then I was asked by your parents. They said, "Our household budget is getting tight too, so we need you to work hard."
What did you say?
When I heard the details, they said that the management was suspicious due to the recession, so they're going to close down the company this year. But that leaves your self-employed parents with no income. It seems all they have left is their retirement savings. They expressed their worries and asked me to continue sending money.
No, that's a lie. I haven't heard anything about our family business going under. There's no sign of that at all.
Yeah, right? They claim they're closing the company, but they're still spending money like there's no tomorrow. Their retirement savings will likely run out in no time, probably because they think they can rely on their son's company.
That's right, my brother's company. Just now you mentioned something disturbing about a business partner withdrawing. Don't tell me that's true.
It's just a rumor, you know. I'm not his wife anymore, so I don't know the truth. All I know is the information from the wife of one of his business partners.
It's not an entirely reliable source. Why on earth are his business partners withdrawing all of a sudden? My brother finally managed to turn his company around. He's about to get married to my friend soon, and now we're back to the brink of bankruptcy.
We all have to help each other out and work hard. You're supposed to graduate from college in just 1 year. We can all manage to come up with that amount of tuition. And when you graduate, please help everyone out as a sign of filial piety.
No, that's impossible. I'm going to have to repeat a year. I still have 2 years until graduation, and my parents' business is going bankrupt. And my brother's company is also at risk of bankruptcy. I can't handle it.
What? You're repeating a year?
Because I've been focusing on studying abroad and internships, I hardly ever attend university classes. I thought they would take that into consideration, but the professor is strict and won't give me any credits.
Well, if you don't attend classes, you normally won't receive credit.
Can I really graduate from university? I barely earned any credits in my first and second years. Even if I work hard, it will take at least 2 more years. Maybe even longer to graduate.
Don't ask me, we're not family anymore. I don't know anything anymore. You guys need to work hard on your own. It seems that your parents' company has indeed gone bankrupt. They managed to close it down without any debts, but due to their spending habits, they only had a few tens of thousands of dollars left in savings.
and Lincoln's company also started to have its contracts cut by its business partners, facing the risk of bankruptcy once again. Suddenly, he lost contact with his girlfriend, and he had no means to cover Gianna's tuition or study abroad expenses, so I hear Gianna had to start working part-time for the first time in her life. However, at university, she was always boasting, "I'm a president's daughter, and my brother is also a businessman." And after her university friends saw her working part-time, she stopped going to university and started to shut herself in every day.
Hey, Julia. Have you given some thought to us living together? I'm still in good health now, but it's been 3 years since my husband passed away. Considering the future, I think it might be good to start living together sooner rather than later.
Good evening. About that living situation. To be frank, at this point, adding one more person to our home is going to be quite tough.
What?
I heard from Hans that you recently quit your part-time job. If you wish to live with us, one condition is that you'll have to find a new job.
Why should I have to work just to live with my own son and his wife? You too! Having the nerve to say such things while being supported by Hans.
I'm working as well.
What can a mere part-timer say?
No, I'm full-time.
And besides, the reason I quit my job was with the premise of living with you. It would take me an hour just to get to my part-time job from your place. So, I had no choice but to quit, right?
There might have been other ways, like getting transferred to a sister store or something.
Enough. The living together is decided. Living in your current one-bedroom apartment won't work for 3 people, so you need to buy a house or a condo right away. Or lease a larger rental property and move in as soon as possible.
Please don't make decisions on your own.
It has to be at least a 3-bedroom house.
We didn't agree to live together.
I will not accept any objections. I'll discuss it further with Hans, so start organizing your stuff.
This is too arbitrary. Mother, did you send a resignation notice to my workplace?
Oh, they received it.
So it was you. Why would you do something like that?
Now, you have no choice but to live with me.
No, that resignation notice is invalid.
What?
Of course it is. It's obvious it wasn't submitted by me. By the way, do you understand what would happen if I really did resign?
There's no need to rush. You can find another job once we move. Becoming a full-time employee might be a bit difficult, but you can easily find part-time jobs.
How can you be so laid back? Do you think we have that kind of savings?
What?
I've told Hans numerous times, instead of not considering earning more than he is now. I want him to think about the future and focus on his work. If you want to live with us, that's the starting point.
Julia, were you such a spendthrift?
What?
You should be able to live comfortably with Hans's income, and yet you're still not satisfied.
Do you know how much Hans earns?
Of course, I do. I heard it directly from him.
Do you really believe that we could quit our jobs and live comfortably with that amount?
Yes, of course. Especially if you get rid of your spending habits.
I've been nothing but frugal.
With Hans's income, I can't imagine why you'd need to save.
Mother. Is there some misunderstanding here? Are you sure about Hans's income?
I told you I heard it from him.
Are you sure you're financially savvy?
That's you who should be asking that.
I believe I have a perfectly sound understanding of money.
Good heavens. Your imprudence. I'm going to have a serious talk with Hans.
By the way, Hans is always at your house, isn't he?
Yes, I'm keeping him here.
Why won't he respond to any of my messages?
To keep you out of the living arrangement discussions.
Don't just decide things without me.
If we respected your opinions, we'd never make any progress. I'll contact you once everything about the living arrangement is decided.
That's not acceptable.
Once we start living together, get ready for some wife training.
Hey sis, long time no see. Got a minute?
Oh, Rick. It's been a while. What's up?
I'm currently planning to return home temporarily from my assignment.
Oh, really?
Well, someone broke into my house.
What? What are you saying?
Well, I was planning to do some maintenance on my house this weekend. It seems like someone has moved in.
What? You have to call the police.
Yeah, I was going to. But when I asked the neighbors, they said they were greeted with a "we've just moved in a week ago." And they identified themselves with your husband's and mother-in-law's names.
What?
I didn't believe it. I thought I should check with you, who holds the spare key to my house, before reporting it. Do you have any idea?
Just a moment. Sorry, we might have been tricked.
What happened?
The key I had in the safe is missing. The only ones who know the combination to the safe are Hans and me, so he might have taken it.
Why would this happen?
Actually, my mother-in-law has been pushing for living together. When I said that she would need to continue working as a condition of cohabitation, she said she already quit her part-time job, and if we live together, there's no need for her to work.
What? Currently, you are barely making ends meet working full-time. And now, the jobless mother-in-law is thinking of moving in.
I tried to explain this situation, but it seems like there's some fundamental misunderstanding. Crucially, Hans keeps going to his mom's house and ignoring my messages. We've been unable to communicate effectively for a while now.
I see. So in essence, they're trying to coerce my stubborn sister into agreeing to live with them. And for reasons unknown, they've set their sights on my house as the place to move into. It feels like they're taking advantage of the fact that I, the rightful homeowner, am currently away on a 3-year assignment at a regional branch.
That's probably what's happening. I'm sorry, Rick. I never thought they'd target the house you purchased.
It's not your fault. So, what should I do next?
Where are you right now, Rick?
At a friend's house. I've secured a place to unwind, so I'm alright.
Got it. I'll try reaching out to the mother-in-law. Depending on her response, we may have to prepare for the worst-case scenario. Mother. It appears you've moved. Where to?
Oh, Julia. I was just about to contact you.
Is it correct to assume that Hans has accompanied you to your new place?
Yes. You're too unreasonable and stubborn. I decided to discipline you before living together.
I don't recall doing anything warranting such discipline.
Are you still insisting on that? If you continue to be self-centered, you may have to consider divorce.
I don't remember doing anything to warrant a divorce.
Enough is enough. And Hans, who's been taking care of you?
Oh, so you're suggesting that I'm the one being taken care of?
Indeed. A wife who can't appreciate her husband earning $7,000 per month is unnecessary.
What? $7,000?
If you don't like it, apologize sincerely and agree to live together. Of course, I'll let you know our new address afterwards. If you bow down and agree to live together, I'll tell you where we moved.
Demanding a bow via messaging. Are you seriously expecting me to send a picture of me bowing down?
Yes, that would be perfect.
I refuse.
What?
I have no reason to do that.
Julia, you're truly stubborn. Are you okay with Hans divorcing you?
Yes. I'm tired, it's fine.
What?
It's okay to divorce a husband who brings home $700 a month.
What? $700?
Yes, Hans's monthly salary, after tax, is $700. He's just a part-timer after all.
Wait a minute. Out of the blue, Hans's monthly salary is $7,000.
Where did that number come from?
I got it from Hans himself. When I asked about his monthly income, he showed the number 7 with his fingers.
So, he didn't verbally say $7,000.
Ha!
Maybe you misinterpreted the 7 as $7,000 because $700 seems implausible. But the fact remains that Hans's take-home pay is $700. And to stir up such a fuss over this. I don't need such a husband anymore.
Oh, really? I don't need a lying wife either.
Well then, let's go ahead and divorce. In fact, we're getting divorced.
Sure, go ahead. And then Hans and I will live happily ever after in this 4-bedroom house that Hans bought for us.
No. That house will be returned to its rightful owner.
Ha! Returned? The real owner? Julia! What the hell is going on? Your brother just came here and told us to get out.
Ah, so he came, huh?
What's all this about?
That house was bought by my younger brother, Rick.
Ha!
Rick had a dream to own his own home from a young age, and worked part-time jobs hard since his student days. He bought his own home at 26, even though he was still single. The house you and Hans moved into without permission, that's the one.
What are you talking about?
Unfortunately, when Rick was finally ready to move in, he was suddenly relocated to a regional office for 3 years. During his absence, I was holding on to the spare key as I live in the neighboring town. But it seems that Hans has taken the spare key. I don't know what you heard from Hans, but from my brother's perspective, who is the real homeowner, when he came home for maintenance, like mowing the lawn or cleaning the house, someone else was living there. It's only natural he would ask you to leave.
What am I supposed to do?
Why don't you just leave quietly? It's clear that running away or refusing to leave won't end well.
Well then, you tell your brother to give this house to Hans and me immediately.
Huh?
As bride's brother, he should listen to what the married family says.
What you're saying is outrageous. Hans and I are no longer a married couple.
Ha!
I just submitted it to the city hall a little while ago. The divorce papers.
Ha! But Hans hasn't filled it out yet.
No, he already filled it out a while ago.
What do you mean?
Hans quit his job at his company without consulting me 6 months ago. Oh well, what's done is done. He quit his job, so for a while, I decided to work full-time. During that period, I expected him to diligently search for a job while taking on part-time and day labor jobs. However, there was no sign of job hunting even after a month had passed. He'd occasionally take on a short-term job or a day labor, and the rest of the time he'd just laze around. Seeing this, I made him sign the divorce papers with a promise that if you couldn't secure a job in the next 5 months, we would divorce. The deadline passed, and regrettably, we ended up divorcing.
So, the story about Hans only making $700 per month, that's true?
Why don't you ask Hans himself directly? I'm divorced now, so I have no interest in meddling with your financial affairs anymore.
Well,
By the way, it seems like my brother has reported you to the police.
police.
Of course. You were squatting in someone else's house. Please leave my brother's house as soon as possible. That's all I want to say.
Julia.
Excuse me.
Hey sis, how's everything since then?
Good. I found a place to move and started packing.
Oh, I see.
By the way, what are you going to do with that house? It's got a stain on it even before you could actually live in it.
Oh right. That's why I wanted to contact you. The value of the property in that area has surged, and I can sell the house for almost the same amount I paid for it.
Really?
Considering the inconvenience fee or say, consolation money I got, I'll look for a better property once my job transfer period is over.
Well, as long as you're not at a loss, that's good.
Yeah, really. You're starting over from scratch too, sis, but hang in there.
Thanks.
I'll catch you later. I'll come visit your new place once the busy season at work is over.
Sure. See you then. After that text, my mother-in-law and Hans were taken away by the police. And her uncle, who came to pick them up from the countryside, took them back with him. Apparently, my mother-in-law was lied to by Hans that I bought the house. And since she misunderstood his monthly income of $700 as $7,000, they had a huge fight every day. Her furious uncle hit Hans with a "get a job" fist, and he finally started looking for one. Thanks to that, peace returned to my surroundings. Moreover, I was offered a full-time position from the place where I had been working full-time, which allowed me to start a stable life after divorce. As a side note, my former mother-in-law caused a ruckus at my old apartment just before I moved, and the landlord claimed damages from her. But that's a story for another time.